Guys, Matthew Morrow, MorrowInvest.com. I want to go over our last 2-minute tip of the day before we lose our sunlight here at Auburn University in front of Sanford Hall. We've had a great couple of conversations. I hope you've watched the videos. I hope that you've been blessed by them. Today, here in the next few minutes, what I want to talk to you about is, again, the type of education you're going to get. Most people get their education immediately from their parents and the people that they grow up with. So I was very blessed to work up, to grow up. Not only was my father a hardworking dad who went to a job every day, worked in the banking industry as a computer guy for the 30-something years with Regions Bank, but also had my mother who owned Personal Touch Catering. And so from an early age, like we're talking 6, 7, 8 years old, I was washing dishes in the kitchen. I was sweeping the floors and taking out trash. I was loading and unloading vans. I was going into the governor's mansion and going into president and CEOs' homes doing catering meals. And it sounds kind of funny that you would think that, man, what does it matter if you're serving biscuits and gravy to the governor? Well, it allows you to be around a different group of people. And so I learned from an early age to work. And it is hard work is one of the hardest things to train. There are people that seem to just have it and some people don't. But you know what? There's a lot of really hard-working people, and my dad has reminded me this several times. There's a lot of hard-working people, and just because I work hard doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't work hard and they don't have value. But they're not different value as a person, but there is a different value when it comes to their mindset and what makes money and what doesn't. So I want to do just a little difference about two types of money. One is the way my dad taught me. My dad is a penny pincher. He told me to save, save, save. You want to save up for your purchases before you buy them. You want to live below your means. If it takes a coupon, I mean, whenever you did the I've got the cheapest dad, I would win. I mean, when I tell you that my dad was stone cold broke and was trying to do everything he could to take care of his family, he did. I remember I learned how to pop a clutch because my dad had a bad alternator for over a year. He popped the clutch on that little Toyota Corolla. He would park on hills. He would park wherever he could that we could get in, and he could pop the clutch and get it to crank without a starter because his starter was bad for 2 years, for over a year, excuse me. He would, when you would go to Hardee's and restaurants, they would have condiments up there. I remember him taking ketchup and making soup out of that ketchup. I remember him getting a bag of M&Ms. My father could make a bag of M&Ms last for months, and he would take 2 and 3 M&Ms, I promise, 2 and 3 M&Ms at the time, and only eat half of an M&M. And can you imagine eating half of an M&M? But he grew up in a very poor family, and they were very, very conservative, and that's the way he is, and that's what he taught me. Let me tell you about my mother. My mother has no concept of money. I know she's watching this right now. My mother is a free spirit. She is, she feels she has money as long as she has checks or that debit card. She will just keep swiping that thing until it's no longer there. She doesn't think, to this day, if somebody in need came to her and gave her a sad story or some terrible thing that's going on in their lives and said, Miss Karen, I need $100. My mother would give them the $100 before she would think about if she had paid her power bill or if she was even going to eat that night or if she had gas in her car, because that's how she is. So I had these two very, very big extremes growing up. So I had a mother who the sky's the limit. She would love taking trips. We went to England and we went to Colorado and New York and we went all over, and that's because she took us on those trips. My dad was we went to parks and things. He made the most of what he could. He tried to make things fun. We did as many free things as possible. We went fishing and went to state parks and those kind of things. And they're very, very different things. And unfortunately, neither one of them make a lot of money. So if you're watching this and your goal is to make a lot of money, this is not really a discussion. Can you save your way to wealth? No, I don't think you can. Now, a lot of you are going to say, hey, I'm a Dave Ramsey guy. Dave Ramsey states that if you're just putting money back, Dave Ramsey is awesome. Let me tell you, to live debt-free and to not pay for things you don't need, to live below your means. All those things are good biblical things I think that you should do. You shouldn't waste your money on frivolous things. You shouldn't blow your money on car payments. I'm totally in agreement with those things. However, if you are ever going to make a lot of money, you have to learn to leverage debt. So you can't be somebody like my mom, unfortunately, that has no budget. And then on the other side, you're never going to be wealthy if you just try to save. Because if you're saving right now, you're making 0.25%. It'll be 1,500 years before you double that money. Your other option is to put your money in a CD. A CD is barely making 1%. I went into an office the other day, and they had a CD, an IRA CD that was 60 months, 5 years for 2%. That's terrible. You can make a lot better returns, not only working for yourself, but doing different types of investments. So, when I tell people about passive income streams, well, if you made $100,000 last year and you had your money as earned income, you're going to pay $25,000, $30,000 in taxes. That's 30%. I could automatically cut that in half just by teaching you a different way to receive your money. So if you received your money as passive income, like royalties, rental properties, those type of things, it would immediately cut that tax in half. That would make you 15%. That right there is a lot more than a CD or an IRA or whatever. Now, you're going to need to do your research on those things. I'm not giving you tax advice. I'm basically telling you the things that I've done to be successful, and I hope that you will implement those things. Let me tell you again, guys, you can cheat. We're not in school anymore, so it's okay to go and find people, look things up. We're in the information age. If you want to know something, go look it up. Let me tell you something else. Pay for mentors. Mentors are going to help you so well because you're not going to have all the mistakes. They've already made the mistakes. They've already paid tens of thousands of dollars for those mistakes, and you don't have to go through those mistakes. You can ask them, hey, should I go that direction? And they're going to say, don't go that way. And that'll keep you from making those large mistakes and throwing your money away on different things, different ideas. Bounce ideas off of those guys because they'll say, no, this is why you don't want to do that, or they might have questions that you haven't even thought of. And lastly, again, I want to make sure you know about what type of education you're getting. Go to somebody that's already successful. We're not reinventing the wheel here. Copy people. Go to people that are more successful than you. Ask them what they're doing, how they're doing it, why they did what they did. Ask them about their flaws, their mistakes, things they did and did do right and things they didn't do right, and you're going to save yourself a lot of heartache. We talked about in another video a few minutes ago that just because you go and get an education, that does not mean that you're going to have a job. Guess what? It's not the university's job. It's not the government's job to provide you a job. You know what? If you will open your eyes, just driving down the street, I literally used to drive around neighborhoods and look for dead limbs in trees and go and knock on the door, and I would say, hey, can I cut that limb down for you? I would say, hey, can I put pine straw out for you? I would go to businesses and do things for free. I would say, hey, can I pressure wash your front of your storefront for free and put a little advertisement up that said that I did it? And you got to go and find those opportunities. If you see an idea that can make money, you can get paid. Why would you go? If you have the ability to work and you're halfway smart, I'm a C student, guys. I'm not an A student. I'm a C student. But I'm smart enough to see that if I was just going to a job, a job, I would be working for peanuts. I would have people questioning when I clocked in and when I clocked out and how long of a lunch I took and how many holidays I took. And oh my goodness, working for yourself, you get to work whichever 80 hours a week you want to work, working for yourself, but you can make a lot more money. So you can go and start off at $7.50 an hour, but guess what? You can charge $50, $60, $100 an hour depending on what you're going to do, and make good money doing a good quality thing. You can be a plumber, a roofer, a builder, a pressure washer, painter, artist. You can take care of the elderly. You can be a pharmacist, a doctor, a lawyer. There's so many things. You can be a garbage truck driver. It doesn't matter if that's what makes you happy. I mean, there are plenty of guys that have made a lot of money just running a dump truck. And that might sound crazy to some of you guys, but you know what? Some of those guys in good areas where there's a lot of construction going on that, can do 20 loads a day, I mean, they're making good money. So anyway, guys, I encourage you. We're losing the sunlight. I just want to encourage you guys, stay busy, stay active. Don't make excuses, because that's what they are. Find ways to say yes. Find reasons to say yes to what it is you're trying to do, what it is you're trying to accomplish, and you will be successful. I hope you guys have a blessed Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.